Good day, students. You're welcome to this class once again. This is another edition of Scholars Universal School online class, and this is your business studies class. So in this class, we'll be discussing the topic entrepreneurship. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, what do we mean, or who is an entrepreneur? Okay, first of all, let's get to understand the word entrepreneurship. Now, entrepreneurship is we said it is a capacity and willingness to start and manage a business venture by taking risk with a view to making profit. When we talk about the those set of people that manage business, those set of people that take risk in order to make profit, we are talking about entrepreneurship. Now, entrepreneurship is about taking risk. It is also about innovation. Before you can say you want to start a business, you have to look for, okay, what exactly do you want to bring? What exactly, which service do you want to give? What do you want to offer? So providing new product or services and having a great business sense with a view to transforming ideas into economic goods for a profit is what we call entrepreneurship. And you would agree with me, we have a number of them in Nigeria. But today, not only in Nigeria, also all across the world, we have entrepreneurship, causing waves and making it big time. All right, so don't forget, we have said that entrepreneurship is the capacity, and the willingness to start and manage a business venture by taking risk with a view to making profit. And also, now, who is an entrepreneur? Now, an entrepreneur is a person who is able to think of, who sees or identify business opportunities that do not yet exist. Is the kind of person who has the confidence and courage to undertake or start up a business at great financial risk for a profit. We are talking about those set of people that that have the business idea. Those set of people that plan and then innovate new things. Those set of people that create business. So when we're talking about entrepreneur, don't forget, last time while discussing production, we talked about some factors of production, and we said we have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So we are saying that, okay, so we have someone that the entrepreneur as a factor of production, combines and manage all other factors of production. They put them together, because entrepreneur is the person that is creating the business. Entrepreneur is the person who is able to think of, who is able to plan, who is able to identify opportunities that do not yet exist. Is the person that take the risk and to start up the business, and all of those things is because of to make profit. That is why the interest of the interest of an entrepreneur is profit or loss. Okay, so now don't forget, now and entrepreneur, you usually start a new business where there is none. He or she takes over an existing business at times to make it better. At times it might not be just starting a new business. It could be managing the existing business. So people who want to work for themselves are considered to be entrepreneur. So in most cases, you will see that entrepreneurs are people that wants to work for themselves. They are not ready to work under anybody. They want to create the business. They want to start up the business. They want to take the risks themselves. So, and you realize that wealth is created when such innovations, that is, those businesses they've created, result in new demand for the product or services that they are offering. That is, okay, what they have created, people are now beginning to use them. So in that case, they get their wealth. In that case, they get money. You understand what I'm saying? So one of the ways that they create wealth is when people, okay, after they have created those new things, after they have created those innovations, those ideas, those businesses, they don't make wealth not until when people started using, or when people start using those products. All right. So let's talk about the characteristics of an entrepreneur. The number one characteristic of an entrepreneur is determination. A successful entrepreneur is always determined and does not give up easily. Because don't forget, most of these ideas that you have, you don't know, or no one has ever practiced this thing before, or at times you really do not know if people would buy that idea. So you need to be determined to never give up. You need to be determined to to be able to push through. You need to be determined to be able to give your all, because it will require a lot from you as an entrepreneur. So one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur is determination. The second is commitment. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need to be committed. An entrepreneur puts in a lot of effort in order to ensure the success of the venture or business. All right. So you have to, as an entrepreneur, they have to be committed, because if you're not committed, you won't be able to give the business what it takes to break through. And also, an entrepreneur, one of the characteristics of entrepreneur is insight. An entrepreneur must have a very clear ideas of the business they want to start and what it entails. So when we're talking about insight, insight is just when you have ideas, when you have the green light. Like, an entrepreneur must have a very clear idea of the business they want to start. That is, you must have enough information that you are required to know about such business. That is, as an entrepreneur, you have to make research. You have to ask questions. You have to go for trainings. You have to ensure you gather everything you need. So the other qualities of entrepreneur is insight, and also then the next is brainstorming. As an entrepreneur, as the business starts or progresses, the entrepreneur must be able to seek new ideas and make changes when necessary. Because one of the things, in what today we said, the constant thing is change. Things change per time. So at times when the business starts, it might not be coming up as you are expecting. So you need to be, as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to respond to the changes per time. You need to be able to respond to the changes where necessary. Okay, so brainstorming is one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur. So as the business starts or progresses, the entrepreneur must be able to seek new ideas and be able to make changes when necessary. All right, so the other features or the other characteristics of an entrepreneur is that as an entrepreneur, you need to be resourceful. So resourcefulness is one of the key features as an entrepreneur. That is, an entrepreneur should be able to have the ability to make decisions and act on his or her own. And before you be able to act or make decision on his or on your own, you should be able to gather. You must have gathered enough resources. That is, you must have gather enough experience, enough exposure that will be required to be able to make those decisions. So resourcefulness is one of the key features, one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur. And also creativity. As an entrepreneur, you need to be creative. An entrepreneur must be imaginative to be able to continue to rebrand the business and make it better. That is, they have to be creative. One of the key things in life, or one of the things that actually make people to make it or to be successful is the ability to be able to create things that people need part time. So creativity, it's one of the key features. So as an entrepreneur, you must be imaginative to be able to continue to rebrand the business and make it better. You understand? So you just like take for instance, when we're talking about creativity, there's sometimes back when we used to have all these commercial vehicles, all those commercial vehicles that commercial taxi that works on the street of Lagos, all those yellow taxi, and with time we have there's innovation of Uber. I believe Uber Taxify. So like Uber Taxify came into the picture to with some new sense of creativity, with some new sense of ways to manage their clients, manage their customers, and with that they were able to retain customers and get more people on their side. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be creative in what you do. And also another feature is understanding. And to be a successful entrepreneur, one must understand the issues, and every decision must be taken after it has been carefully thought out. You need to understand everything. You need to understand the impact of everything you're doing in your business. You need to understand every decision you are taking. You need to give it a deep. You have to think through every decision you want to take. So as an entrepreneur, you don't just jump into decision anyhow. So you understand. So every decision must be taken after it has been carefully thought out. So you need a proper understanding of what you're doing, proper understanding of your clients, proper understanding of your customer, proper understanding of the output you are expecting, so that you will be able to be successful in what you do. All right. So other features or other characteristics of entrepreneur is ingenuity. That is, an entrepreneur must always have original ideas and new methods of doing things in order to stay ahead in the business. Because when we're talking about business, we have a number of businesses that are even offering that same service that you're offering. So you need an original ideas and new methods. You need to be thinking. Don't forget, I was telling we actually discussed about brainstorming, which was the fourth characteristics. So at the course of brainstorming, you need to be able to create. We also talked about creativity. You need to be able to create new ideas, original ideas. Don't fake it. Don't fake what some set of people have been doing. So another features is ingenuity, and also other features of entrepreneur is foresight. Now, entrepreneur must be able to see ahead. Foresight is seeing ahead. You should be able to tell what the future trend is like. Like it's likely to be, and position him or herself rightly. That is, you should be able to see ahead. You should be able to predict. You should be able to plan for the future. So, as an entrepreneur, you'll be able to plan ahead. You should be able to, decide what people would need in years to come. You should be able to decide, and you should be able to plan yourself in preparation for the future, and you should be able to position yourself rightly. So, also, the features of an entrepreneur is perseverance. Now, when we talk about perseverance, it is the ability to keep trying despite setbacks. And it's one of the key characteristics of successful entrepreneur, because in business that you're starting, you face trials, you face troubles, you face all sort of things. So if you can't persevere is being able to go through all of those things, being able to keep trying, being able to keep at what you're doing. If you can't persevere, if you can't keep trying what you're doing, you can it will lead to quitting. And don't forget, they used to say quitters don't win, so also winners don't quit. So you don't have to quit, you have to be able to persevere, and that is one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur. And also courage. So as an entrepreneur, we need courage. You need courage. An entrepreneur should be courageous when it comes to starting a new business or making decisions. You need courage. There are sometimes that the decisions that you would want to make might not be easy, even for you as an entrepreneur. The decisions might not be easy. So courage is needed to be able to push through, to be able to do all of those things that is required per time. Courage is needed. So the other features or characteristics of entrepreneur is confidence. You need confidence. After you have courage in yourself, then you have to you have to have the confidence. You should be very confident. If they want to be very confident, if you want to assure people that you know what you are doing and makes it difficult for others to discourage you, you have to speak with boldness. You need the confidence, because as an entrepreneur, you need to convince people to get your product. You need to convince people to subscribe to your business. You need to convince people to follow you. So you need confidence. If you are not sure what you are doing, definitely people won't follow you. Another features of an entrepreneur is toughness. You need to be tough. Ability to withstand all sort of pressures in the bid to set up a business is another good attribute of an entrepreneur. So you'll be able to withstand. If you'll be able to withstand, we talk about perseverance. You should be able to keep trying. So this when we talk about toughness, you should be able to withstand all sort of pressures in the bid to set up a business. So now also we have independence. Now, independent we say is unwillingness to be under authority. Is one of the motivations for being an entrepreneur. That is, you should be able to stand on your own. When we say someone is independent, we will take for instance when we say Nigeria is independent, that is, Nigeria is standing on their own. So as an entrepreneur, you should be able to stand on your own. I mean, you should be willing to be able to stand on your own and not under authority. So that is one of the motivations for being an entrepreneur. And also, another features of an entrepreneur is extreme optimism. Now, seeing the good side of everything concerning the business or believing that businesses will succeed is also one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur. When you're optimistic, when you're optimistic is when you are seeing the good side. Of course, there will be good side and there will be bad side. But when you are seeing or when you lay your focus, when you lay your attention to only the good side, you're set to be optimistic. So you need to have this extreme as an entrepreneur. One of the key features is extreme optimism, and also we have the ability to prioritize. Now, as an entrepreneur, they need to have the ability to prioritize the needs of the business. That is, to ensure that it is the most important items that are provided at the time they are needed. So you should be able to prioritize. Okay, in this business, what exactly do we need at this point in time? In this business, what exactly do we need? Should we go for this or should we leave this? So ability to prioritize is also one of the features of an entrepreneur. And also, lastly, we'll talk about continuous learning. As an entrepreneur, we need, in the course of trying to run an innovative business, continuous learning is needed. So that is what they learn helps them to improve their product and services. So you need to be learning every day. You need to be learning of the best way, the most efficient way to carry out what you're doing, the best way to be able to do what you're doing, and how to get the right set of people. All right, so that is that. Those are the characteristics of an entrepreneur. So we are moving to an enterprise now. So ask us, what is an enterprise? Now, an enterprise is an organization or business created for commercial purposes. So when we talk about enterprise, we're talking about organization or business created for commercial purposes. And the creation of an enterprise requires boldness, requires promptness, that is, create it on time. It requires energy and financial risk. Now, I'm taking it again. The creation of an enterprise requires boldness. I mean, you need to have the confidence in yourself. You need to be able to take up that thing and say, okay, I want to create this thing. And it requires promptness. That is, do it on time. The things that you're not doing now, it will shock you. That, I mean, in months or years to come, you see that some other people have started doing those things. Because those ideas are not only coming to you, it is going to different people's pipeline. So you need to, be prompt about it. It requires not just promptness, not just boldness, it also requires energy and financial risk. So that is that about an enterprise. So we move into the next part of this class, which is self-employment. Now, when we say self-employment, we are talking about people that are not working under anybody. That is, people that are self-employed are people that are not working under anybody. So we have said that self-employment is the operation of a business or services as a sole owner or partner. Sole, that is, as a sole owner, that is, it is owned by only you. And it does not involve working for an employer. So you're not working under anybody, you're not working for anybody. So it does not involve working for an employer. Self-employment, therefore, is working for oneself. Don't forget, we have said that self-employed people work for themselves instead of an employer, drawing income from the trade or business that they operate. That is where they get their income. And many self-employed people are involved in the day-to-day running of their business. That is, an individual who owns a business may or may not be directly involved in the running of the business. It is another person, usually a professional, may be employed to run the business. So you have to know that, many self-employed people involved in, day-to-day running of their business, and some might not be involved. Some might, decide to hire a professional to take up the tax for him or her. All right. So now, what are the effects of high unemployment on a country? And when we talk about unemployment is when people that want to work, that are ready to work, and they are fit to work, are not getting work. If they are not getting the work, so it is called unemployment. Now, when we talk about unemployment, now what is the effect of this high unemployment on a country? Don't forget, because of this issue, this pandemic, which is the coronavirus, we have a number of companies, a number of banks, a number of institutions that have released or sacked people, and those people they've sacked would be going, they will be unemployed. They will be unemployed. And what is the effect of this unemployment on a country? Now, people who have a job have high self-esteem, and the income they earn, would helps them to contribute, no matter how small, to the economy of the country. So unemployment affects a person's self-esteem and makes them feel as if they are doing nothing to help their families, community, or country. This can affect the mental health and make them feel isolated and frustrated. That is, those are the things that unemployment does. Because when you are not, when you have a job that you are doing, when you've been released from your work, people they feel inferior, and they feel frustrated and isolated. And also, now when we talk about unemployment, it leads to poverty and can make a person turn to a life of crime in order to make ends meet, in order to survive, in order to make to eat, in order to get what they need, what they do. Some people involved in crime, like criminal activities. Poverty also makes people do desperate things to make money, like stealing, like kidnapping. When they are desperate to look for money, they involve themselves in one or two things. And unemployment therefore has a negative effect on the country. That's why people should do whatever, that is, when people do whatever they do, whatever is possible to be employed, it's those are the things that causes negative effect on the country. When they do whatever they have, whatever they could think of, be it stealing, be it kidnapping, all sort of things, all manner of things, all manner of illegal activities. So it has a negative effect on the country. Now, what are the challenges of being self-employed? Now, don't forget, you're talking about self-employment, like self-employed. Now, the challenges of being self-employed, as in having your own business, means that one, there's a risk of failure. The challenge is the risk of failure, and you may not have anything to fall back on if you lose all your investment. That is, okay, if the business fails, you may not have anything to fall back on. If the business fails, and they might lose all their investment. Those are one of the challenges of being self-employed. And you just have to, another one is you just have to put in a lot of your time to make a success out of it. So there's no set closing time or opening time. Unlike when you work for people or when you work under someone. Of course, you know that, oh, this person I'm working with, this is our closing time. But when it is your business, you have to put a lot of your time to make success out of it. Another one is you have no one else to push you. Unlike when you are an employee and have to report to other senior colleagues or bosses. Of course, your boss will want to push you. Hey, I've not gotten this. Hey, I've not gotten this report. When am I getting this report? But when you are an entrepreneur, when you are self-employed, you know that, your dream, what you want to achieve, would push you. So and of course, and that's one of the challenges, because you will not have people to push you, except your dream. Unlike when you are an employee, when your boss, when your senior colleague would push you, even when you are not doing the right thing, they could serve you query. But being self-employed or being an entrepreneur, you will not have anyone else to push you. Like no one. And without discipline and focus, and being committed to your dream, it can lead to a laid-back attitude and eventually failure. Because there are some people that when you don't serve, like when you don't check on them regularly, they might there could be a lead back. You understand? So those are the challenges. And also another challenge is you might experience a lot of stress and would need to learn to manage it. A lot of stress. And another one is you might have to accept jobs that you don't like until the business can stand on its feet. Because as an entrepreneur, the only income you'll be getting is from your business. The only income you'll be getting is from your business that you have created. And it might require, or it might take some while before the business could stand on its own. And because there is a need for for your survival, you might have to accept jobs that you don't like. So that's another challenge of an entrepreneur. And also it can lead to loneliness or cause you to be distant from family and friends, because you're putting in a lot of extra hours to make your business succeed. So because of as an entrepreneur, it can lead to loneliness, or it could even take you to a far distance away from family and friends, because you're putting in extra hours, you're putting in your time, you're putting in everything to ensure the business succeed. So Those are the challenges of being self-employed. And also, to continue with the challenges, you might not be able to get the customers who will actually buy your service or product, or they might not like your product or services, because that's another thing. We said production is not complete until it gets to the final, consumer. So you might not be able to get the customer who actually buy your service or product, or they might not even like it, even if you get. So those are the things, those are the challenges faced by an entrepreneur. And also, it can take some time before your business can stand on its feet. And so make sure you have other source of income, or at least some savings, so you don't starve. It can take some time. It can take some time before the business stand on its feet. So, as an entrepreneur, there's a need for other source of income, at least some savings, so that the owner of the business will not die of hunger. So yeah, so those are the challenges faced by an entrepreneur. Now we need to discuss about the facilities available for self-employment. And what are the facilities available? Now, if you want to be self-employed, you have to start off by thinking of a new idea for a business. For example, you may start thinking of something that is needed in your home or community, goods that would sell well, or even services that are not readily available and that people have to go far to obtain them. So we have to consider, okay, take for instance, I want to start a business in my community. You have to be very careful to check out what are those things that I struggle to buy when I want to get there. What are those things that they don't even sell in my environment. So when looking for an ideal facility for self-employment, you need to understand the environment in which you are living and within which the business you want to operate will exist. Studying the environment will help you generate ideas for starting a new business. You need to study the environment so well. And while studying the environment, you have to ask yourself some questions. And the questions that you'll be asking is what I've listed here. So, number one, do you live in a city, town, or rural area? So we're talking about rural area, we're talking of underdeveloped area, we are talking of, like, take for instance, the village, places that are not developed. So you have to know, okay, because the kind of goods that you will sell in a city will be quite different from the goods you will sell in town, and would be definitely different from the goods you sell in rural areas. So another is what types of goods and services are required in your area or home. Okay, I stay in a town, not rural area anyway. I stay in a town. I think I need to be selling, some airtime recharges and the like that. So you have to ask yourself, those are the questions you need to ask yourself. And what types of goods or services are required in your area? What opportunities are there for starting a business? You need to ask yourself, what opportunities are there for starting a business? You have to ask yourself, you have to check which opportunities would you be partaking of, or would you be tapping into? So you have to check all of those things. Now, which geographical condition exists in that area? Is it farmland? Is it desert? Is it savanna? So you have to consider all of those things if you want to be an entrepreneur. Okay? And also, the questions, you have to check the next one, which is what can you grow or sell in your area? And what can you grow or sell in your area? You have considered the weather, you have considered the atmosphere, you have considered the climate condition. So you have to ask yourself now, what can you grow or sell in your area? What can you grow or sell? So you have to ask yourself, or can you use the natural resources around you to start a business? Of course you could. Take for instance in places where we have rivers, you could be a fisherman, go to the farm, go to the river to get fishes and the likes like that. So another is, are there factories, industries, or shops near me? So those are the things you need to ask yourself, being an entrepreneur, and thinking about starting a business. You have to ask yourself, are there factories, are there industries, are there shops near me? So those are the things that would prompt you to know the kind of goods you would be picking. And also, can you supply organization with goods or services? So these are the questions that will help you think of ideas for a business. You have to be able to answer all of these questions to be able to help your idea formations. All right. Now let's look at the following factors can facilitate self-employment. And the following factors are: the number one, natural environment. And when we look at the natural environment, with natural resources such as land, soil, air, weather, plant, trees, and geographical location is what we call the natural resources. And then you should think about how you could use these resources to start, a business without damaging the environment. Someone living close to a riverine area can start a business of catching and selling fishes to people, in inland or in locked areas. So that's one of the factors, that can facilitate self-employment. Number one is the natural environment. Okay, so number two is social environment. The social environment too could facilitate self-employment. So this includes human resources such as family, friends, neighbors. Social resources like clinic and schools, and physical resources like shop, factories, road, houses, businesses, railroads, and ports. So constant electricity supply and good, road network can aid business activities such as, hairdressing, blocking, haulage, and transportation of goods and persons. So the social environment, so to say, this time around would help. Take for instance, when there is constant electricity, of course you would want to, do business that would, be successful when there is a good social environment. And the economic environment too is very key. It includes economic resources like work and finance that help the citizen to make, spend, and save money. So those are the factors that can facilitate self-employment. Access to finance through loans from banks, family, and personal savings can provide funding for starting a business. And also we have government policies. Now, when we talk about government policies, these are other factors that facilitate self-employment of the citizen by providing grants to small business owners, access to acres of land to farmers for cultivations, fertilizers at a subsidized rate, reduction of taxes, and so on. So those are the things that boost, that facilitate. Those are the things that boost, self-employment. All right. So now let's look at successful entrepreneurs in your locality. In your locality, you have to identify some entrepreneurs, and they include shop owners dealing in provisional and cosmetics. We have people, all those local poachers, all those people that kills cows and the like that. And we have spare part dealers in your area. I'm sure you have spare part dealers. I'm sure in your area you have kerosene sellers, or you get people that sells provision stores. You have restaurant owners. We have welders. We have fashion designers. We have hairdressers. We have petty traders. We have chemists. We have business center owners. We have electrical and electronic store owners. And we have the sign writers or artists. So we have different successful entrepreneurs in our respective locality. That is even more than what I have mentioned. Alright. So let's consider the notable Nigerian entrepreneurs, the Nigerian entrepreneurs, because really there are actually many notables and they have created wealth and provided employment for many Nigerians. So let's consider their list. Take for instance the first person, Aliko Dangote. You can see Aliko Dangote, that is the CEO of Dangote Group of Companies. You can see he's just 63 years old and he's doing excellently well in the economy. He's helping the youth to get work. He's really helping. So that is one of the notable entrepreneurs that we need to know. Another is Abdul Samad Rabi. He's the CEO of Wa Group. Also, he's a Nigerian businessman. So he also is one of the businessmen and entrepreneur. Abdul Samad Rabi is the CEO of Wa Group. And also we have other ones. We have Folorunsho Alakija, and she's a Nigerian billionaire businesswoman and she's involved in fashion, oil, real estate, and printing industries. Now, when we talk about Folorunsho Alakija, we are talking about a woman, one of the founder of Famfa Oil. So, and also by my right here we have Jim Ovia. Jim Ovia is a Nigerian businessman. He's the founder of Zenith Bank in 1990. So that's also another notable Nigerian entrepreneur. Okay, so also we have our proprietor. We have Mr. Flamuyiwa Kolawole. is a proprietor of Scholars Universal School. He's also an entrepreneur. So also we have his partner, Mr. Timothy Alonge. He's also an entrepreneur too. All right. So we have some other forms of entrepreneur. We have Mike Adenuga. He's the CEO of Global.com Network, and he's the second largest telecom operator. All right, and it has presence in Ghana and Benin. And by my right hand side now, here we have John Momo. He's a Nigerian broadcast journalist and the chairman CEO of Channels TV. So those are the notable Nigerian entrepreneurs. All right. Also, we have some set of people. We have Mo Abudu, that is Mosumola Abudu. She's a businesswoman, so she has helped, and she's a producer. She has produced many Nigerian videos, wedding party, 50s and the likes like that. So we also have on my right here we have Linda Ikeji. She's also a successful entrepreneur. You have Linda Ikeji blog. Yeah, this is the CEO, that is the brain behind the Linda Ikeji blog. So those are the notable to mention few. Those are the notable national entrepreneurs that we could lay our hands on for this section. So we have international entrepreneurs. We have Mark Zuckerberg. So we have Oprah Winfrey. We have Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO, founder of Facebook. We have Oprah Winfrey. She's an American talk show host. She's also an entrepreneur. Mark Zuckerberg is also an entrepreneur. Also, we also have some other notable international entrepreneurs. We have Bill Gates. We have Walt Disney. We have a number of them. So please check through all of these. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. I wish you all the best.